So let's move into crime real quick.
Yep.
I saw a press conference that you guys just recently had. Was it last week?
That's right.
And I think it's great that the arrests were made. But you know what I think is greater is the chief talking about the people are starting to get fed up. And
they've been fed up.
Starting to now communicate.
Yep.
And that made me smile at that point. Not that crime is, yes, we're fixing to conquer everything, but it's when the people get fed up enough to where they're going to say, I've had enough.
That's right.
We can fix our crime problem.
Yes.
Because I don't think that I'm not well versed in criminal law or how to police things, but I don't think there's any one thing that you could spend money on tomorrow to fix crime in any city.
Yeah.
It's you're having to change hearts and minds and for people to say that I've had enough. You're not going to do it in my neighborhood. You're not going to do it in my front yard. If you do, I'm going to let somebody know about it.
Yeah, I've often said crime is a two-sided coin. First, you need to start talking about the current crime and violent criminals. Let's just take the low-hanging fruit. Let's get them off the streets.
Yeah.
I can show you instances where I can take somebody's rap sheet and it'll hit the front door, and they're still out. PD has a part of the criminal justice system, but ultimately these violent criminals need to see some hard time, especially repeat violent offenders. But I want to back up a little bit and talk about just some challenges we faced in PD. Let's just start there, because they're the folks who are going to go out and they're charged to protect our citizens every single day. We took over a police department that was at its height. Their police force reduced close to 40%. $2 million plus stripped out of their budget. Their morale was extremely low. Some of my first few days in office were dealing with a police brutality cover-up. What kind of trust does that build in a community?
Yeah,
that doesn't build trust. Not when
it's horrible.
Not when those things are happening. So it's like
welcome
to office.
We've got great officers that are there. And look, I know that you can have bad apples in really anything in life.
That's right.
But owning the mistake when it happens.
That's right. When it happens. Yes.
When it happens. The accountability that comes along with it. I thought that was handled very swiftly.
Yeah.
And we're thankful for that.
We've learned, look, over the past 10 years, we've learned what not to do when it comes to instances of police brutality, right? And so there, the guidebook was there. You had to understand that look, we had all kinds of examples through our country, about how to handle these situations. It was a no-brainer. We got in office, we handled business, and it was expedient and swift. But that goes back to building trust in your community that police are going to do the right thing, right? So the morale, I knew we had to find a police chief that would inspire folks. And look, we did a national search. I had a committee formed, and I said, I don't want you to bring anybody to me. I want you all to whittle it down to my top 4, and then you bring them to me. I wanted this to be a fair process. Chief Zordon, I can already tell you, was the guy. He seemed like somebody that would lead from the front. He seemed like to be a man of integrity. He wanted to be hands-on. I'm a hands-on person. He wanted to be hands-on, and he wanted to be out in the field with his people. I mean, he was a DEA field director.
But that matters.
It matters, and it matters to your people.
It does.
When I go in my ride-alongs with PD, everybody knows, and I think I've earned their trust to know that what they tell me in that unit does not get back to chief. I want to know, because I'm charged to give you proper leadership. Am I giving you proper leadership? Right? The comments range from, it's nice to have a chief who signs out from the field. It's nice to have a chief when we go knock a door that he stacks up with us. Like those are things that I'm getting back from officers. It matters that he's not asking you to do things that he hasn't done himself or will not be or won't do himself. Also, I'm hearing that whatever we ask chief, he gets us. One of them, the dive team needed a new boat. They said 3 weeks later we were shopping for a new boat, right? New equipment. Little things like a beard policy helps morale. I mean, the little things like that,
Sure.
It matters, and build that morale. And how you, same way when we talk about changing hearts and minds, we say you got to first change hearts and mouths and how you speak about your city. It's the same way about your leadership. Ton of work right now in recruitment. Chief's put over 60-something people through the academy. Doesn't mean all of them wind up staying as police officers. Some people get in the streets and go, this ain't the life for me, right?
And we don't want them there if it's not right for them.
That's right. And then, but I think, and recently, see, you're going to see this on the news, so I don't think we're beating it to the punch, but you're going to see it that the police union came out and brought the ballot directly to police, and for the first time in a long time, they've have a vote of confidence in their police chief, a solid vote of confidence in their police chief. So that makes me feel good to know that they have proper leadership, that they're now getting more applications in to be in the police force. When your police are happy, it makes recruitment a whole lot easier.
Absolutely, and the quality of work that we get from the officers, nationwide, there's a reluctance of people going into law enforcement because they don't feel like they have the support through their leadership. I also agree at the same time there has to be accountability, but there has to be a balance with everything in life. So it's nice to know that they have the confidence in our chief, and